Welcome once again to another episode of Stu Ham Productions Presents
J&M Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And with us tonight on the phone, first-time caller, long-time viewer and listener. You may not know her now, but by the end of this, you sure will. Everybody give a big, warm J&M Solve the World welcome to Autumn Lynn. There we go.
Thank you.
So, how are you?
Great.
Nice.
I'm great.
So tell the tens of listeners of the J&M Solve the World podcast a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Autumn Lynn Rose. That's where you can find me pretty much anywhere. I am a single mom of 3 kids, working a full-time job, a regular 9 to 5. I recently put my 2 weeks in Thursday so that I can pursue camming and my spicy content full-time.
Nice. And
I like to dance. I like to strip. I like to tease. I like to do arts and crafts. I have regular hobbies. Do DIY. I like to fix stuff. I like screwdrivers.
the drinks or the tools?
Both.
Oh,
I really like camera stuff too.
Now, at one time, I do remember you wanted to be our female panty dropper expert when it comes to our alcohol reviews.
Heck yeah.
Have you been able to find any of the liquor that we have reviewed?
Not quite.
Okay. Okay.
Not yet.
Baby steps. Baby steps. I mean, that's 2. You know, Autumn says that she wants to be part of the female audience that says whether an alcohol is a panty dropper or not. And Miss Regina,
right,
that was here last week, or
as we record.
Yeah. Anyways, so how did
I think the cat's out of the bag about our recording?
Yeah.
Since St. Louis, because we were there for 3 days, and how many podcasts did we do?
Yeah. How did you get started with the spicy content, if you will?
Well, I just decided to say, fuck it. I want to do it. I'm a big girl. I'm a grown-ass woman. I come from a very religious and strict background, had a very strict dad. I wasn't even allowed to kiss boys, hold hands. But I've always been drawn to, like, the porn industry, and I've always watched porn. I've always masturbated. I mean, I didn't lose my virginity till I was 16, but I always wanted to be that girl. I wanted to express my sexuality and take hot pictures and just be desired. I don't know. But I was always afraid. I know my dad would really be disappointed. He would hate it, probably disown me. So I didn't. And I used to be a lot heavier than I am now. So past relationships, guys telling me that, you know, I let myself go and I'm fat and this and that. I didn't really have the highest of self-esteem. And then I started losing weight. And my old friend talked me into going to Patricia's with her one night. And she bought me a lingerie piece. And when we got back to her house, I tried it on and I looked so fucking hot. We started taking pictures that night and I haven't stopped.
Nice. Nice. And Patricia's obviously is an adult shop.
They have everything.
Where close to where you live?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got one close.
Yeah.
Springfield.
Well, we have Miranda's up in Kansas City.
Ours used to be an Adam and Eve.
Oh, yeah.
It changed to
No, that's like online now. Yeah. Have you heard of Priscilla's? That used to be, I don't know what that is anymore.
They still have some in Kansas City. So
that's how it started.
Yeah. So where was your first postings at?
Let me think. I made an OnlyFans that night, and once I got approved, I also that night signed up for Chatterbait. I made a Twitter and a Pornhub, like all in one night.
I mean,
and she had a Pornhub account, and
okay.
she hadn't posted anything on there for years. But she's like, you can get paid for it. I'm like, you can get paid for it? All I gotta do is play with myself and upload it, and I get paid. Well, why the fuck haven't I been doing this? And I was scared and told her my concerns. Like, I just don't want my dad to find out. I don't want them to see it, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what are they going to do if they do find out? Like, you're a grown woman. Nobody can tell you what to do with your body and your life and what makes you happy. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Fuck that shit.
Well, and okay, let's say your dad or your brother, uncle, cousin, whatever, did find this content. How would that conversation go?
I was on OnlyFans and I seen you on there.
Well, Dad,
I was scrolling through Pornhub and never guess what I saw. I saw your titties.
So my brother's already seen. My dad and my brother are two different things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, perspectives. My brother has already seen some of my shit from my Snapchat, my stories.
Uh-huh.
He blocked me, but only because he didn't want to see it. And this was when I first started, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I thought I had blocked him, all my family and friends, from my premium accounts, but I wasn't doing it right. So he was seeing all my stories, and he messaged me one day and was like, I don't care what you do. I don't give a fuck. I'm not against it. I mean, it's your life. I just don't want to see it. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be seeing this. He's like, I'm just saying, I don't want to click on your story and see your ass pictures. I'm like, I don't want you to see them either. Sorry.
That's an awkward Thanksgiving dinner right there.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I seen your ass.
Dad. Yeah, I mean, I know my other brother, my youngest one, him and his girlfriend know about it because his girlfriend said something like, wow. And so she deleted me from Facebook and whatever. She tried to add me back a couple weeks later, and I didn't accept it because I'm like, you made your decision. No.
Yeah.
But my dad, I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know yet because he can't hold back. He's going to talk to me about it. He's going to put his 2 cents in, and that he would just be like, unbelievable. I'm very disappointed in you. You need to start going back to church and blah, blah, blah. Just disappointment.
That's something that I know my dad, that was growing up, and that was one of the things that just got me to the core. And even to this day, and I'm almost 50 years old, when my dad says, oh, I'm disappointed in you, son, it's like, oh, fuck. Damn.
That was the way my dad was. I think he smacked me once in my whole life,
Yeah.
But he could make you feel about that fucking tall.
Yeah.
It was more of a psychological thing than a physical thing, And I, in all honesty, I probably had a little bit of fear of him even until the day he died.
Well, I mean,
intimidation anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Growing up.
So
my dad had a temper. Yes. He was scary, and he's the one person in the world that I hate disappointing. And so we were really close. I was always daddy's girl. Since I kind of got into this, I don't keep in touch with him that much. I don't tell him a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he'll message me every once in a while and say, I miss you, love you. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So you mentioned OnlyFans, Pornhub, Chatterbait, Twitter. Where else can
Snapchat. Did you say Snapchat?
Oh, Snapchat. Okay. And I will put
Instagram.
Oh, and Instagram. There we go. Do you have a link tree?
Yes.
Okay. I will put her link tree
At the bottom.
address. There we go. Yeah. At the bottom here. So anybody can go find it there instead of trying to list every single platform. Yeah. And
I actually have more than that too. I just don't really use the other ones.
Okay. Well, that's the reason for the link tree.
Yep.
Because we actually have a link tree, which will take people to our YouTube and our Spotify, and then like TikTok, Instagram, that has pretty much gone from my personal to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's pretty much, and Tumblr. We do have a Tumblr and a thread.
I don't have that. And I've had a couple fans lately ask me if I have Discord.
Yeah.
Don't, but I'm like, should I?
Well, from what I know, Discord is a lot like Chatterbait.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot more for gamers. So people get onto Discord and they're gaming together or they're watching somebody game, but it's like a Patreon. You got to pay to play, basically. And then, because I had thought about a Patreon for us with behind the scenes stuff, stuff that's released, because I know a few YouTubers that have a Patreon page and they've got the different tiers and they'll release stuff specifically for Patreon, or they like do behind the scenes stuff, or, yeah, because
That would be cool.
Oh yeah, because they're always like, oh, and this video is brought to you by these Patreon patriots, and it's like, it's like, oh man, that'd be great to get paid to do this.
Right.
I'm just saying. Okay.
It's great getting paid.
How does one get started in the spicy content creator world?
You just sign up and do it. Literally anybody can do it. Guys, females, big, small, any color. I mean, like, really, there's somebody out there for everybody. And that was like my biggest fear also, I think, because I was coming into it so fresh with PTSD from past relationships and stuff, and not, thinking that I'm just gonna look like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
I got the mom bod. I mean, I'm not perfect at all, but since I started doing all this, I haven't had like not one mean, negative, hateful, nothing mean at all said about me. It's just really built my self-confidence up that much more.
Nice.
It's like, it's hard not to think that I am hot shit. I mean, because I don't think I'm hot shit, but it's like, gosh, you hear it like every day, and it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, and from what I know of Chatterbait, it's like kind of live streaming, like you're getting like real time question answers. You're actually interacting with your fans.
Yep. And Chatterbait has you can be in your room and be live streaming, and anyone can join and leave whatever. You can set up options to where they have to be a follower in order to message you or tip a certain amount. They have cam to cams and private chats, where they have to pay a certain amount of tokens to do. But I don't even do that stuff yet. I just keep it simple.
Let's see here. Do you have any female fans?
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Not really that I know of. I've had a couple girls add me on Snapchat and write me on TikTok. TikTok is another thing. Anyone who has TikTok, I have fun with TikTok.
Okay.
But just a couple girls ask, you know, you're so hot, you're so sexy. Are you bi? Also some couples on Pornhub. I get messages all the time like, do you make couple content? Me and my wife love you. My wife would love to eat your pussy. Just so yeah, I guess I do.
That's a loss now.
I mean, you know, for the listeners out there who are just wondering what Autumn Lynn looks like, I mean, and I will preface this by saying she's not wearing lingerie, she's not sitting around naked. No, she is fully clothed. But when you're
no bra,
no bra,
when you're looking at a female, you know, and it could be any female, and she's like, oh yeah, somebody else is asking, you know, if you know, she wants to lick my pussy and blah blah blah, and instantaneous, boom, pictures in the head, and it's like,
well, especially when you see it every day, it's kind of hard to get out of your head.
I mean, but there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know, and it's like,
I ain't hating on them.
No. And it's like we've always said on this podcast, what you do is what you do. As long as it doesn't hurt another person, physically hurt another person, fucking do it.
Right.
I mean, because everybody's feelings are going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not going to please everybody.
Yeah.
Look at my baby daddies. They're just butthurt though. They're hurt because
you got all fine on them, and now they're trying to sniff around, trying to get back in there.
Well, my ex-husband, I left him 6 years ago. He's still trying to get back with me.
Oh.
And he made the comment like, "Oh, I found out about your little OnlyFans, blah blah blah." You know, blew me down. And my youngest's dad, we have been friends like off and on. And when we were friends at one point, he was like, you know, you're hot before when you're, you know, bigger, but gosh, since you lost weight, you're even hotter now, like shitting on other females, dude. And he's like, you should start an OnlyFans. You'll make so much money. And I'm like, I've been thinking about it. He's like, do it, dude. You know, encouraged me. And then once he found out I was doing it, man,
Yeah.
I still can't live it down.
Well,
I'm like, you were one of the first people to tell me to do it.
right. And it's, you know, it's that you see those females and it's like, damn, you are beautiful. You know, you'd be raking in the money as a dancer or this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they do it, then you got the people, oh man, I can't believe you're doing that. And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you lose a lot of weight too. Because I've honestly, in the last 2 years, I've lost almost 100 pounds.
Damn.
Speaking of it, yeah. My highest was I was over 200 pounds. Wow. And I'm 120 right now.
Nice.
And
So,
I'm smaller now than I was before I had kids. And when you're fat and everyone talks like, God, she gained a lot of weight. She's depressed and unhappy and blah, blah, blah. And then you lose weight and they're like, God, I wonder how she lost weight. She must be on drugs. And it's like, fuck it.
So may I ask, how did you lose weight? Was it just diet and exercise? Or?
Yeah. And I really got into like the science of it. I did a lot of research on food and what we put in our body. And I realized I was programmed at a young age to eat everything off my plate. So I grew up overeating and I hated, you know, and coming from like poor, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't like wasting food, you know, so
that's
I hated wasting food. Yeah. But then after a while I told myself, it's okay. It's okay. Like, is this last bite worth the extra calories, the guilt, the feeling of, you know, like, oh, I'm so stuffed.
Right.
When I cut the roof. Like, I just changed my mindset. Started walking on my treadmill twice a day. I walk at my job. I drink only water and black coffee, energy drink sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I just
drink coffee in the
started
morning,
caring.
water during the day, and then I add scotch to my water at night.
There you go.
You know, and that's that right there. That shows the dedication that you have to a healthy life, because you weren't following the fad diets. You didn't,
Which I have before and failed.
right?
You know, I restrict myself of everything. No candy, no chips, no fast food, no. And then I would give in and just, it's all over. But like,
Yeah,
Right.
I learned like if I'm craving a fucking cookie, I would go and get like four cookies out of a package.
yeah,
But as soon as I take the first bite, it's like that satisfied my craving. I would give them to my kids. Like
yeah.
I still eat candy. I still have fast food. I just portion control. I limit myself.
Right.
Right. Yeah, because most fad diets aren't sustainable because
Right.
you're missing so much, you know. And all
Right.
that bad shit tastes really fucking good.
Yeah.
You know.
And so I give in. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like, yeah, I have cravings. I'm human. I eat ice cream.
I mean, even Dwayne Johnson, you know, when he was training for G.I. Joe and then the Fast movies, I mean, his cheat days was
epic.
yeah. I mean, they were humongous.
Pancakes that would cover this
Yeah.
table.
Pancakes and cheese pizzas, but you know, it's
But he probably eats about 6,000 calories a day just to maintain that body.
yeah.
But it's
He's also
clean.
like 7 feet tall and 300 pounds or something. I'm 4'10".
Right. Well, he's 6'5".
Yeah.
But, you know, 270.
Okay.
To me,
Right.
Brian Shaw. You know,
Yeah.
we've talked about him before. 6'9". When he was competing in World Strongman, he was competing at like 405, 410, and his daily intake was 15,000 calories.
That was just fuel for that
Yeah,
body.
yeah, and it was all clean.
it's like a typical week for me when it's that time of the month.
15,000 calories in a week.
Yeah.
Ooh, some days I just cannot stop eating. Some days I don't eat at all. It just depends on
Yeah,
stress. I used to be a stress eater, and now I am a lose my appetite.
yeah,
It's like my grandson, he's 21, got a heavy, he's wanting to lose weight. And I said, you got it's a 3,500 calorie deficit for a week to lose 1 pound of body fat or a fat per week.
Oh.
And he's like, oh my God. I'm like, dude, that's one order of McDonald's fries a day.
yeah.
That's all
But
that
see,
is.
also like patience. Like I used to want to see results in 2 weeks, a month. If I didn't, I was down 20 pounds in a month.
No.
I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. But like, it literally took me 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I stopped drinking alcohol for 4 months. And I immediately lost 30 pounds in like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it was just a slow process, but I didn't think of it like a diet. I didn't really set a goal. I just wanted to live happier for my kids.
They say that the best weight loss, you lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. And you know, and the people that do those crash diets and they're losing 5, 10 pounds, and you always lose more to start with anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you gain more back.
Just because you're losing a lot of water weight to start.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But if they lose 10, 15 pounds in a week or 2 weeks or whatever, that's not sustainable, and they're going to gain it right back, and usually more.
Right.
What was the guy off My Name is Earl?
Oh yeah, Ethan. Yeah, he was also in Butterfly Effect, and oh yeah, I mean,
but he lost over 200 pounds and had the skin removal surgery and everything. Then he gained it all back.
Yep. And then it was
now he's lost it the right way. He's lost it slow and everything, and I mean, he's still a big guy. He's like 280, I think.
Yeah.
But he's shredded now.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
And he didn't go have the skin removed this time.
Right.
He's keeping it there as a reminder.
Yeah.
I mean, the show The
I
Biggest
wish I
Loser.
could do that.
The show The Biggest Loser. You know, the first couple of weeks, those people would lose, 15, 20 pounds a week.
yeah.
But these people were also like 400 pounds or something like that. So 20 pounds isn't a big deal. But then the ones that were able to stay in the show and towards the end, yeah, they got down to where they were losing 5,
Right.
4. But
we
but you
used
could,
we used to watch Extreme Makeover.
yeah,
In the first 90 days, he
Yeah.
would set them a goal, and it'd be almost like 90 pounds.
Mhm.
And then the next goal, he'd want them to lose like 50 pounds for the next 90 days. And then the third 90 days, usually they were on their own,
Mhm.
and that's when some of them screwed up because he wasn't there coaching them the whole time.
right.
But
It can
then,
be.
their next one, for the year, the goal was to have a low enough body fat percentage that they could do that surgery,
Yeah,
the skin removal.
yeah,
When you start slowing down, it can be discouraging too.
Oh, yeah.
I told myself though, I was in the 200s for a couple of years, especially after my third child. She was almost 10 pounds. I just told myself, I just want to be out of the 200s. I just want to be in the 100s, like 190.
Mhm.
And then once I hit 199, I was like, I kept dropping. I was down to like 192. I was like, God, I'm almost at 180s. I just want to be in the 180s. And then once I was down to the 180s, I'm like, I really want to get down to the 170s. And then before I knew it, I was down to like 165, 150, and I was happy. And so I just wasn't trying as hard, but my lifestyle changed. So like the weight just went off. I'm down to 120.
yeah.
Nice.
When I lived in Tennessee and I had a set schedule with the gym and my food intake and everything, and yeah, my diet wasn't the greatest because I ate like shit. I drank 2 Monsters and 2 20-ounce Code Reds a day, plus a shit ton of water. I was only eating like once a day, but it was generally like a large pizza from Little Caesars that I was able to run down and grab at lunch, or run across the street over to Sonic and get a couple of wacky packs or, whatever. But when I started losing the weight, I got down to a certain point. I got down to like 212 and I hit a plateau and I couldn't lose any more weight. But then what I noticed, I started losing inches around my waist. And I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. And it's like I had to go down a pant size. Even though I was appendix carrying a Glock 19, I still had to go down a pant size. And I could still wear my Glock and not print and be comfortable and ride my motorcycle with a gun in my fucking appendix.
That's why they say you should take pictures too, like monthly, because
Oh my God, yes.
you will plateau and think you're not losing any weight, but then you can look at the picture from the first of the month to the next month and you go, oh, well, yeah, it's still working. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, and body dysmorphia is a real thing. Like sometimes I have days I look in the mirror and I still see 200 pounds. But then when I look at a picture of me from like 2 years ago, I'm like, oh, it doesn't look like me. My face was so fat. Like,
Yeah.
it was chubby, round.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, I look normal now.
Yeah.
I look back at band pictures of us and yeah, I see this little scrawny fucking dude and I'm like, oh man. But then I get past the gut area and I start looking at my arms and there's not the tattoos there and I'm like, or, I don't have the beard and I'm like, fuck. Who the fuck is this guy? I only know it's me because there's the Blues Brothers on my stomach and that fucking tattoo hurt.
But when a boy becomes a man, though, that's fucking hot. I mean, men, like when you grow up, like there's guys I haven't seen in years, but then I see them, I'm like, whoa, like when did you grow up? Like muscles, more masculine, and
Right.
I don't want to grow up because I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us.
nobody wants a scrawny little boy.
So, what customs do you offer? What kind of custom content do you offer your fans, your followers, your worshipers, if you will?
pretty much the usual. I'm not really nitpicky about it, but if someone requests something that I'm not comfortable with, I'm going to tell them. I'm not going to do anything I'm not comfortable with. Custom pictures, I've had a few of those. Custom videos, I've had a few. The girlfriend experience, I don't know if you've heard of that. I haven't had anyone get one of those yet, but I've done sexting sessions, video chats where, we're both masturbating with each other. So I call mine come together video calls.
Okay.
So because we're both going to come together.
Okay.
And
Now,
dick ratings, I actually get a lot of those.
Wow. So,
And anything they come to me with, I'm pretty open.
so what is the girlfriend experience?
So basically, it would be like, if I was your girlfriend, this is what it would be like. I'm going to text you all day, text you good morning, how are you? Hope you're having a good day, send you pics throughout the day, selfies, surprise nudes, just that kind of thing.
Okay.
Instead of just like looking for the time to message you back on OnlyFans. You're a priority,
I don't think I've ever had that girlfriend experience.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I've done that boyfriend experience to my girlfriends, except for the random nudes, because I mean, let's face it. I mean, a dude naked. I mean, you got to fluff, and it's got to be a really hot shower, and and you got to look your best, and it's. So, I may or may not have done this. I cannot confirm nor deny, but taking a selfie and looking at it and be like, "Fuck that! Oh God, that looks fucking terrible," and then going back and taking it again and taking it again and taking it again. It's just like fuck. And then finally you get that one, and it's like, okay, this is good. Now let's go in and edit. Let's add a little shadow here. Let's do a little this, a little that. Yeah, that looks great. And then you can't live up to that because it's all filters, babe.
It's all for the teaser.
I mean,
you gotta have to build up.
Now, where do you think your biggest following is? Like, where do you think you have your biggest amount of fans?
Honestly, I think TikTok.
Okay.
I grew fucking overnight. I went from like 148 followers to like almost 2,000 in like a week.
Wow.
And I have way more likes than I do followers, so it's like my shit's being seen.
Yeah. And you can, because I know once you hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, you can start.
Live.
Yes, you can start going live. Have you went live on TikTok?
Not yet. So like a long time ago, before I was a content creator and all that, I had a TikTok, but it was like a mom TikTok, like a mom humor.
Uh-huh.
I would go live on that, but so far I haven't gone live on TikTok, but I plan on it.
Okay.
I'm trying to dip my toes more in the camming and breaking out of my shyness. Like I really am shy. A lot of people are like, I can't tell. And it's easier over the phone and through video and calls and stuff, but I really am shy.
Well, and it's I read an article about OnlyFans during the pandemic, and how they said that OnlyFans during the pandemic was the greatest thing for introverts because there's no interaction.
Right.
And you're not having to leave your house. You're right there in your home, and
that's what I love most.
Yeah, and
I'm a body.
There's nothing wrong with that. And I've dated a dancer years ago, and it takes a special type of person to be able to handle somebody in that type of industry.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be a super jealous person. You can't be a super controlling person. You just need to be supportive. Because the number one thing that you have to remember, if you're dating or married to somebody in the adult industry, if you will, is you just got to be there for them. You got to support them. You know, and
It's just a job.
it is. And in some aspects, financially, that person in the industry may be supporting you financially, but
More than likely.
it's emotional support.
Right.
That's where it all comes down to. And, you know, having ideas and I can only imagine with as a content creator, you know, it's coming up with new and original ideas that, you know, there's not 10 or 20 other women in your case doing the same thing. So you're trying not to do that.
Yeah, I love being creative too. And I've done a couple of things where I've had people reach out to me and be like, that's really cool that you do that. I haven't seen anyone else do that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yes. Yeah. Plus, there's nobody out there that looks like me. So.
Question, if I may, do you do different like backgrounds or scenery or anything to do your content with, or?
I do. Most of the time I'm in my room, but sometimes I'll hang a blanket up. Sometimes I go from the bed to the floor to a chair. Mm-hmm. My kitchen sink the other day, the bathroom. Mm-hmm. I've done outside content because I don't have neighbors like in front of me, so
Nice.
That's all.
Okay.
At work, in the bathroom.
Oh, I mean that. Yeah, I mean that brings to mind. There's a Digital Underground song, you know, the Humpty Dance. I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. I'm crazy. Not saying that you work at a Burger King or anything, but you know, it's just
No.
That song comes into my head.
Or Talladega Nights, conceived in the bathroom of the Applebee's.
Yeah. Please.
I mean, live your life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's for me because I've done some stupid shit in my life, and I've really done some stupid shit in my life. But the one thing that I'm always scared of is wearing silver bracelets for indecent exposure. Because, I mean, you can be, you know,
True.
hot, heavy, into the moment. Yeah, I'm living it. Woo! You know, you're like Lane Frost, and you're going 8 seconds. Woo! But as soon as you get that spotlight and that click-clack, turtle.
Sometimes it's also the suspense or like the knowing that you can get caught any moment.
Right.
Like adrenaline, like the thrill of it. Like,
okay,
we're supposed to be doing this. It's even hotter.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as far as a financial aspect, where do you think the most comes from of all the platforms that you're on that you actually earn money on?
Chatterbait.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, every time I get on there, I make no less than 80.
Okay.
For like sometimes just, I mean, the other day I got on there for an hour and I tipped out with $83.
Nice.
I mean,
and if I'm just doing this, like I'm only kid free every other weekend, and some weekends I only get one night instead of 2 nights, like this weekend. And I'm like, man, if I was able to give it my all and do this like every fucking day, and like,
yeah,
I could be like other big creators out there who are making 1,000 a night and shit like that. Like,
right.
To be financially stable.
Yeah.
You know, I think that has become the new American dream, is being financially stable and not like one paycheck away from the poorhouse.
Well, in your industry too, you're not having to go to Hollywood or go to New York.
Yeah.
And audition with 1,000 other girls that look similar to you and hope you get the job.
Right.
And then once once you do start getting your foot in the door and everything, then you got to be careful what you say or everything, because then you'll get canceled. And then
Yeah.
Right.
with what you're doing, it's like, this is it. Here we are. We're making money.
Yeah.
And when I started this all, it wasn't even for the money.
Right.
It was because I felt like it.
Right.
Because I'm at a point in my life where I really don't care what people think of me anymore. Mm-hmm. I stopped living for other people and worrying about their feelings. I started caring about my feelings and living for me. I'm going to do what makes me happy. Fuck how you feel. That's on you.
Right.
I can't control that.
Right.
So, but the money,
it's just
the
icing on the cake.
potential there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's hard being a single mom living paycheck to paycheck.
I completely understand it. And it's like, I mean, obviously during the pandemic, because there was some big numbers coming out of like OnlyFans, because everybody was stuck at home and
it was new.
Right. It was brand new. And you hear stories of like teachers that said fuck teaching and started doing OnlyFans.
It was just on the news.
People even lost their jobs.
Just on the news last night or night before last, those two Missouri teachers.
Yeah.
They started an OnlyFans account and everything, and they were making, I forget, buku bucks.
Oh, yeah.
And then somebody at the school board found out, and they got fired.
Right.
And they're like, okay, fuck you anyway, because
Yeah.
I'm making more money in a week than I made in a month there.
Well, and what, like Motley Crue said, no publicity is bad publicity.
Right.
And the fact that that's become national fucking news. Mm-hmm. And there's been, there's one podcast that reached out to the first teacher, and she agreed. And it's like fucking, they posted a link to her OnlyFans, and they did a snapshot of before the podcast, not saying that it was a huge podcast, but like before the news broke and after the news broke. And I mean, her subscribers on OnlyFans, I mean, it jumped.
Right.
Major.
Right.
And there was a lady that's on Johnny Darrell every now and then up in Kansas City. She was during the height of the pandemic, she was making $100,000 a month. And
I need to up prices.
Do what?
I need to up my prices.
Well, and it's like Patreon, for instance, because I know somebody that has a Patreon page, and the way that she does it is it's tiered. It's like $5 a month, you get 5 spicy photos, nothing nude. $10 a month, you get that plus this, and then 15 and 20 and 25.
That's how Fansly is, if you've heard of that. I had that for a while. I just didn't like it.
And then she's got what she calls the monthly girlfriend experience, and apparently, because you can go through and you can look, and like there's only so many spots for each tier, and the girlfriend experience is like $10,000 a month. And it's sold out every month, and she's got 3 slots.
Damn.
Yeah. Maybe I need to grow a set of boobs.
There you go.
I mean, and you have to like be your own marketer too. Like you have to promote.
Right.
I mean, it's the only way you're going to get discovered. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I I know there was one girl I started following years ago. It came across like Twitter, my Twitter feed. And it's, you know, another 4'10" little girl. And what caught my eye was she was doing a Velma shoot with the costume and yeah, and it's like, huh. And I started looking for photos and I'm like, okay, yeah, she's cute. And okay, we'll follow that. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, she's got this link tree and she's got the OnlyFans and she's been banned off it. Like she's had 4 different TikToks, like completely banned, and she's got backups, and same thing with Instagram, and she's got, you know, all this other stuff. And it's I told Dwight's son Roman, I showed him a few pictures of her, and he's infatuated with her. And you know, and she's moved out of, like, she was in college going to school as an accountant when the pandemic started. And since the pandemic, she's moved out of her a parents' house that she was living in while she was going to college. And now she's bought this huge fucking house. And it's just like, okay, there's money to be made.
Right.
That's my ultimate goal.
Not
To buy a house for me and my kids.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that was actually the next question is, what would be the greatest accomplishment for your content?
Getting out of debt, being stress-free, not having to worry about how I'm going to feed my kids, how I'm going to have gas to get to work.
Okay.
I mean, it's where a lot of my stress and anxiety comes from. It's just, once you get so far behind, it's so hard to get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so far behind helping somebody else out.
Yeah.
And in the end, just hurt myself and my kids, really.
So, a little change the subject here, because I mean it all makes sense, but James and I here in the studio, we can see you, and everybody else will have to go to one of your links to see you. But I see that you have some pretty good ink. Other than your arms and across your chest, where else do you have tattoos?
Behind my ears, back of my neck, shoulder, arms, chest, lower back, back of my thighs, side of my thigh, and my foot, and my forearm, and wrist, and top part.
Okay. What's it say across your chest?
Sing for today. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Focus on today. Yep. And I like to sing. I can't sing though. Like even in my, like when I do go live on Chatterbait, like I always have music playing. I'm dancing and singing. And I tell them, you know what? I have to sing. I love to sing. Music is like my escape. And if you don't like it, like you ain't got to stay in here. But if you learn, like if there's something about me that you like, you just kind of deal with my voice.
You know, we used to say the same thing because neither one of us were the lead singers in our band. But you know, we gave it our best. And I mean, this guy actually got to record a song that he's got lead vocals on our album. And he's the only one other than Chris that has lead vocal duties on the album.
If you call that vocals on Satan. But
well, and I mean,
it is vocals.
Yes,
That's
and
why I call it singing.
there is a whole lot of effects added.
I had him take a lot of them off so I could try to redo it. So I could try to do that live.
Oh my God, the demonic sounds coming out of the monitors in the studio. Holy shit!
Just say parts of it gets real guttural.
Yeah, yeah. And it actually sounds like
People are tone deaf.
yeah. It actually sounds like Satan himself is singing.
Especially if you've been imbibing in the herb a little bit.
Oh,
You can hear the layers, and it almost sounds like Satan is in the background there. It's,
yeah.
it's like, wow.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
What questions?
Like my mom voice.
What questions do you have for us?
I don't know what got you guys to start doing like alcohol reviews, and I mean, besides the fact that your voice is fucking born to talk on the radio. The first time I heard your voice on Snapchat, I was like, dude, he better be in radio or something. I couldn't stop listening to your videos.
We have faces built for radio.
There you go.
Voices. Your face is alright. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I'm funny.
you know, well, I mean, it all started when I moved back to Missouri, and we linked back up, and we started practicing again. We were playing, and then we'd get done, and we'd sit at the dining room table and just continue to fucking drink and
shoot the shit, and then we'd stay up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning doing that. And the next morning, my wife said, "Well, did you and Matt get the world's problem solved last night?" It's like, yeah, I think so, but we can't remember. Yeah, it's like
That's fucking awesome.
We just got talking. It's like, well, fuck, why don't we just record this shit?
Yeah.
What are we gonna call it? I don't know. She asked if we solved the world. JDM solved the world.
there
Fuck
it is.
There we go. So,
And the first podcast was on my iPhone in the garage, and you could barely hear us. And it was a 10-minute thing on Ric Flair's final match.
no, it was longer than that, wasn't it?
No, it was only like 10 minutes.
I thought we went in depth on how we didn't want to see him die and shit.
Like 10, 15 minutes, something
Yeah.
like that.
So,
That's awesome. I've been thinking about starting like my own little vlog, like vlog.
Mhm.
How do you say it? Vlog.
Yeah.
A lot of girls out there do that, who are content creators, and they give like tips and advice and talk about their story and anything. And I used to be one to like not talk about shit because I'm like an avoidant. I have like an avoidant attachment style. So like, I used to be so organized and on top of my bills, write everything down. Then once I started getting behind, like I can't find it in me to sit down and write my bills out because it's like I have to face that. So I'm always like reluctant to talk about anything that's going on because I'm an emotional person too. Like I can cry in a matter of seconds if I'm, you know, if it's heartfelt. But like, I mean, I've grown so much in the last couple of years, and I like talking about shit now, and I want to reach other women or people, like, especially single moms who are stuck in abusive relationships and think they can't get out and stuff. Like I did it. If I can do it, you can do it. Like I've been through some bad stuff,
right.
but it's made me stronger and wiser.
Well, and the best thing that you can do, especially, you know, if you decide you want to do that is, you know, start a YouTube channel and just do, you know, you can have it separated from your spicy content. And like when I started my Snapchat and my original Instagram before it got hacked and stolen, the name I have on there and the email that I had attached to those was not directly in, it wasn't connected to my Facebook because I just reconnected with my daughter. I worked at a gun shop. I am very pro Second Amendment And I mean, a lot of the stuff that I was posting was very pro Second Amendment, very pro USA. And I didn't want anybody to trace it back to my Facebook and then try to go after my daughter, because I've spent 36 months overseas. I don't have a problem spending the rest of my life in prison to put somebody in a shallow fucking grave that decides they want to hurt my daughter. I have no problems with it whatsoever.
Yeah, you gotta worry like that too.
So, you know, I didn't combine those two, and now I'm still very pro Second Amendment, but I don't post that stuff. I don't do anything political on any of my social media, and it's all kind of intertwined. And, you know, I know my daughter can handle herself, but still, that's still my little girl, and I'll go toe to toe with fucking Satan. I don't give a shit. And I like to tell her that she's my favorite. And then she likes to remind me that she's my only, and I say that we know of.
It's funny.
So how did you find out about us or run across us or whatever? This podcast.
Jake.
Matt. Yeah. Jake on Snapchat.
Yeah.
He found me, I think, from Pornhub, added me on Snapchat. And I mean, I can't tell you how many Snapchats I get a day. A lot of guys that just send me pictures or just unsolicited dick pics and random highs. How are you? Like, I don't respond to that. I ain't got time for that.
I'm not going to lie, not to cut you off, but I do send unsolicited dick pics, but it's pictures of Richard Nixon, Richard Gere, Richard Simmons, Richard Dreyfuss, you know.
Well, Matt sent me a Snapchat, or a few, every single motherfucking day for at least 3 or 4 months before I even acknowledged them. And it's not like I didn't want nothing to do with them, or, you know, like I'm not like stuck up or bitchy. I didn't know who this guy was. Like he sends me pics every day, and I like seeing them. Like, that's pretty fucking awesome. And then one day I clicked on his story and heard him speak and was like, I gotta talk to him.
Cool.
That's how I found out you guys did the podcast, and we just been talking since, and we started talking about what I do, and he's been helping me with tips and tricks and new ideas and stuff. And yeah, I tell my kids he's my business partner.
There you go.
Well, I mean, it's easier for somebody on the outside to give advice to somebody in a different industry, because you're not in that industry. Mm. So you don't know. You just know from like
other creators' perspectives and stuff like that.
From a fan's perspective, if you will.
Right.
You know, hey, this is what we like to see, or this is these are the trends that are going on now that, you know, may or may not last, but it's like you could get the word out. There's all this, that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, cool.
I'm still trying to sell some calendars too.
She, I sent her a couple of pictures from the calendar before I got it. And she's like, oh my God, that's fucking awesome. And she sent me photos, and I designed up 2 different calendars, and I sent her the pictures.
Nice. And
she's got them posted on
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And
I guess I should try Twitter.
The way that we were going to work it is she gets an order, I place the order, we could have it sent directly to the person, you know, and we split the money, you know. And I mean, the only thing that I would ask, and, you know, especially with that, like with the shirts, is I get my money back. Mm-hmm. That's all there is to it. If there's any profit, that's somebody else's business.
Right.
Now, if we make a profit off of these, that's the we part.
Right.
I mean, because I'm only the M. It's somewhere on my hat. I'm not even going to try to fuck.
You were pointing at it pretty close.
You kind of touched it.
Yeah, I'm only the M of the J&M. I'm only the him of the Stu Him Productions.
We tried to use our old production name, and
Yeah.
we found another one. Damn it.
Yeah, that fucking sucks because, I mean, that was the production studio that produced our album.
Right.
Motherfucker.
Well, just wait till we get to do that photo shoot with your bass.
She liked that one.
That's gonna
She
be
liked that one.
Yeah.
fresh.
Well, and I'd sent the idea of, do you remember the Lita Ford poster where she's got that BC Rich?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with like my Iceman or my other Ibanez, or I mean, because it's not summertime, she's not tan, so the white Jackson could like just kind of blend.
Right.
Now, I mean, we could go with the black Dean with
yeah.
the green strings.
There you go.
I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Right.
And I am not a professional photographer, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
You got a pretty good eye, though.
Only when I have my glasses on.
I mean, and I'm all for like new stuff. Like, I don't have any instruments, so I wouldn't thought about posing
Right.
with an instrument. I think of other things, but I love to dress up, and I don't necessarily say it's cosplay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to play. I like to play dress up. I like to wear lingerie, but I have like 5 schoolgirl outfits that are all different, like 4 different maid outfits, secretary. I mean, I just like to dress up.
No hot nurse outfit?
I have 4 of them, and I actually have 3 more schoolgirl outfits on the way, and another nurse outfit on the way, and then like one that's like a corset.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way it makes me feel.
Cool.
I love it because like when I was bigger, I was too self-conscious to wear lingerie or even think about it or try it on or nothing. Mm-hmm. But I've always wanted to, so it's like now that I can, I feel hot in it. Can't stop me.
You know, and that's you're
empowering.
Right. And you're talking about your weight loss journey and everything like that. And I've got to mention James's daughter, Amanda. We had her on an After Dark podcast, and she talked about her weight loss journey. And, you know, and I posted photos of before she had the surgery, and then she did a cruise with a bunch of girlfriends of hers, and she's wearing a bathing suit, and you could just, the smile, because she's smiling in both of them, but before she had her gastric bypass, before she had that done, the smile looked really fake.
Forced.
Right. But then the smile of her in the bathing suit in the pool was
genuine,
100% genuine. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I look at Amanda as, you know, there's a joke with his grandson that I'm his dad, and that's a story for another time. But, you know, Amanda is the little sister that I never had. And I will boost her. I will lift her up. I will give her all the props and everything. I had one of my Snapchat followers hit me up that has done the weight loss journey, and she was talking about it, and I'm like, well, you need to listen to this podcast. And she listened to it, and she's like, holy fuck, that is so inspirational. I fucking love it. And then I relayed that message to Amanda. And Amanda, I mean, she was just like, over the moon, like ecstatic that she was able to influence and lift up somebody that she didn't even know.
Right. It took us forever to get
Oh,
her on the
really?
podcast.
Oh yeah,
And the reason it's not a video is because she didn't want to be on the video.
right.
You know, it was like, let's do an after dark. The camera's not going to be on. Da, da, da. And she'd had enough to drink in her time. She's like, okay, fuck it. But it was cool because, you know, on the after darks we get to go longer, and so she got to tell her story. And she said when she was 17, 18, she wasn't heavy at all.
No.
You know, and she worked at Sonic as a car hop and was in
Yep.
good shape. But she said even back then she was self-conscious and didn't feel
Right.
comfortable. And that photo on the cruise ship was the first time she'd ever wore like a two-piece type
Right.
deal. You know?
Yeah, and it was it wasn't it was a two-piece, but the top had like
I think they call them
Like a halter top.
shirtkinis or
shirt
Yeah.
keys.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it had the cups, but it also had the shirt that,
Tank kini.
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, she had the greatest experience in Mexico when her and your wife went, and you know, she's wanting to get the excess skin taken off. She's wanting to get a breast reduction, but they won't do it until she maintains a certain weight. And I mean, she has turned her life, like, not only with the eating and everything, but she quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Done that 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
yeah. And, you know, and she wasn't an alcoholic by no means, but she just chose to, you know, it's just like you said, you quit.
She kind of had an accident with a bridge.
She continued to have accidents with that one hand, and that was bad.
She decided, yeah, I need to quit.
But, you know, and it was just like anybody that goes to rehab. If they do it for somebody else, they're never going to follow through with it. When they do it for themselves, that's when you stick with it.
Exactly. I used to be so self-conscious about what other people thought of me because I gained weight. I'm fat. Like, I want to lose weight so that people, you know, think I'm hot. No, after I stopped giving a fuck,
Yeah.
and I started living for me, like, God, just the true happiness. Like, when you're really happy with yourself,
Right.
you're so much happier in life.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Rex Brown, bass player for Pantera, had been into rehab several times. And it was the last time that he went for himself. And he really didn't have a choice at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was to that point to where at first it was a little cocaine up on the teeth and the gums in the morning. And then it was like a little sprinkle in the beer, little sprinkle in the drink. And he said doctors pretty much split him in half. And his innards were starting to crystallize from all the cocaine he was ingesting. And that's when he was like, okay, it's fucking time. And he did it right, but he did it for himself. You know, Zakk Wylde, who
He chose life.
Zakk Wylde was a huge drinker. Mm-hmm. Him and Dime had epic fucking shit. And it took one shot from the doctor to say, you quit drinking or you're going to be dead in 6 months.
Yeah.
And
he just sniffs glue now, he says.
Yeah, sniffs glue. But he does drink non-alcoholic because he likes the taste of beer.
Yeah.
And speaking of non-alcoholic, I seen a non-alcoholic fucking tequila last night.
Ain't that called orange juice? A non-alcoholic screwdriver.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like,
Sounds like some motor oil.
Yeah.
Well, and it was Blanco tequila too. It's like,
oh, so it's water.
Yeah. Why? I mean, there's only been 2 tequilas that we have had here on the J&M Solve the World podcast that has, I'm sorry, there's been 3 that's been worth a shit. The Agavero, the Pelagrasso Cinnamon, and the Rock and Roll Tequila Mango.
There's another one. The Rifle Tequila's good.
Oh, shit. Fuck. The Old Dominion, or Old Carbine Gold Tequila.
Yeah.
That was smooth as shit, too.
Yeah.
That was scary.
We got to try that strawberry.
Oh, yeah. That's still in the fridge, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
That's like the only reason I joined. Well, 2 reasons I joined the gym last year. One of them was my grandson.
Yeah.
Because he played high school football, and the little shit's 5'8", 135 pounds.
5'5", 5'6".
Yeah, not according to his list on the football team.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just like in wrestling.
But anyway, he's benching at 225, squatting 225, and he's just freaking shredded. Don't have an ounce of fat on him, you know.
It's fucking disgusting.
And then the other reason is, I don't. Well, it'd be cool to look like him, but that's too much work.
Yes.
But
it makes you feel better.
But I want to walk when I'm 80, so keep moving. You know, if I live to be 80.
I mean, you know,
they say diet and exercise can actually reduce all caused comorbidities by 40%, or all caused mortalities by 40%.
You know, they say that, but then they always ask, like, the World War II veteran that's 102 years old, what's your secret?
Well, he was active.
Eat bacon.
Black coffee, bacon, and Jack Daniels.
But he probably, once he got out of the war, he probably worked on a farm the rest of his life. You know,
or
he was moving.
Right. Because a lot of those guys did do that.
Oh yeah.
They went back to Joe DiMaggio. Got home from the war, went right back into Major League Baseball, and won a fucking World Series.
Guys like Holly and Edelbrock, they were engineers in the Army, and they were bored, so they started building race cars.
Fuck, I can't think of who it was. The Galloping Gooses.
Right.
They're they're known as a 1% motorcycle club, and they were all formed from bomber pilots from World War II. They came home. They couldn't find that
adrenaline rush.
The adrenaline.
Yeah. So they started riding motorcycles fast and being crazy.
So this will be out. I don't know when, but when it is, I will send you a screenshot and a link to our YouTube and Spotify channel, so you can post it to all of your fans and beg them to become
Like and subscribe.
Oh God, yes. Like, subscribe, share,
Comment.
Fuck yes, please comment. We don't get enough comments. Actually, I think we've only gotten like 2 comments on Spotify. And
I made a comment the other day on that video you just posted, but
on Spotify?
No, YouTube.
Oh, did you?
I meant to.
Oh,
my ADD got the best of me. I get sidetracked really easy.
You know, yeah.
Squirrel. Lots of squirrels.
So there I was, balls deep in this squirrel. What? No. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Hard to get sidetracked from that, though.
Well, I mean, I think I'm pretty good. I think we've asked all the questions, and I will put it once again, the link to all of Autumn Lynn Rose's links, so you can find her, you can become a fan, you become a follower, you become a worshiper. In that order. I don't know.
You'll get to see me naked. Maybe.
It depends on what platform.
It depends.
Because you can't get naked
too
on
old.
TikTok. Do what?
No, I've already been banned on there twice. So I should probably start working on some backup accounts.
You could probably do it on Twitter, though, because Elon says, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah. There's...
But actually, I won't because I want them to go to my OnlyFans to
Right.
don't want to see me naked. So I'm not going to advertise my nakedness when I...
Not going to give it away for free.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's kind of like she is a good Christian girl who's saving herself for the marriage of OnlyFans.
There you go.
I am just a good girl gone bad, really, due to fucking fucked up relationships.
You know what?
But I am who I am.
She is Sandy from Grease.
There you go.
I love that movie. I'll take it.
Hey, big compared to Olivia Newton.
Crybaby. What was her name in Crybaby? Do you guys remember that one?
That was Johnny Depp and Tracy Lords. I do not remember Tracy Lords' name in that movie. But I do remember it was Johnny Depp, Ricky Lake, Tracy Lords.
There's a lot of good people.
Yeah, there is. John Waters is in that movie.
Like none of my friends have ever heard of that movie. I'm like, what?
Well, but
and I'm younger than like most of my friends.
that's like asking people if they've ever seen the Kentucky Fried Movie. See? Yeah, that look right there tells me that you've never seen the Kentucky Fried Movie. There's a scene in the movie where this buxom blonde comes up and shows her boobies, and she tells the guy, she says, show me your nuts. And he goes,
It's funny.
It's one of those movies you'll lose brain cells, but it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. And it's definitely a 1970s movie.
Yeah.
But do you have any parting words for your fans or soon-to-be fans?
I genuinely love you all, and I appreciate the support, the confidence you give me, the friendship, the connectivity I get, because I genuinely like getting to know them. I don't just want your money. I want your friendship too. And if I can help anyone along the way, and if I could give anyone advice who's thinking about doing this, do it. Do what makes you happy. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for. I've been working at a bank for 4.5 years. I just put my 2 weeks in so I could do this full time. But I don't know if I'm going to get anywhere with it. I might have to go get another job. Right now, I'm just going with the flow. And I would say don't be afraid about what other people are going to think. Because no matter what, you can't make everyone happy. No matter what, someone's going to be pissed at you if you don't do it. Someone's going to be pissed if you do it.
Exactly.
Like, live for you, for real. Everybody, just live for you.
It's great advice.
I like it. You hang on right there. Don't go anywhere. But on that note, you have just watched another episode of Stu Hair Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I am James.
And I have been Matt. And on behalf of Autumn Lynn Rose, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.